Welcome back to the archives, traveler. In the Meridian, there is a truth hunters learn too late. The most dangerous moment of a hunt is not the strike, it is the silence before it. The morning came without ceremony. The quartet returned to Magnus Ironforge's workshop. Their armor waited, repaired, reinforced, silent proof of a dwarf's craft. Magnus handed each piece over without words, but he did not let them leave. From a locked cabinet, he withdrew a lantern, wrought iron shaped like clasped hands, and within those hands a stone that glowed with unwavering light, pure, warm, ancient, Solmara's tear. Magnus explained only what was necessary. The stone was a relic of the First War. It carried light that purified the void's corruption, and it was bound to its twin, Uriel's verdict, carried by Bianca somewhere in the deep below. The two relics sought each other. That was their nature. The brothers took the lantern. It was heavier than it looked. The entrance to the deep tunnels lay at the eastern edge of Iron Cove, where industry gave way to older stone. The guards of the silent Aberrant Company stepped aside without question. The brothers descended. The air changed. Above was fire and hammers and war. Below was silence that pressed against the ears. Calister held the lantern high. Solmara's tear cast steady light across rough stone walls, and almost immediately the brothers felt it. A pull. Not a sound, not a vibration, a direction. The stone was seeking its twin. The tunnels twisted deeper. The walls wept moisture. The temperature dropped. Valerie's bow began to hum. Tharok's shield creaked as he shifted it into position. The light of Solmara's tear grew brighter, warmer, urgent. They rounded a corner and stopped. The chamber opened into a passage that should not exist. The chamber was not natural. The walls were too precise, the ceiling too deliberate. This was dwarven work. And suspended from chains above was another lantern. Inside it burned cold blue fire. Uriel's verdict. Bianca Ironforge stood beneath it, tools in hand, utterly focused on the stone before her. She was healthy, calm, working as if she had all the time in the world. When Solmara's tear flared in recognition of its twin, she turned. She did not startle, she simply nodded, as if she had been waiting. Dwarves waste no time on relief. The brothers saw what she had built. The ceiling rigged with pressure plates, the walls honeycombed with alchemical fire, the floor carved with sealing runes. A trap, but not for them. Bianca moved to the far wall and pressed her hand against the stone. A section shifted, opened. Behind it was a passage, narrow, descending into darkness, and from deep within came a sound, rhythmic, wet, consuming. 4 days prior, she had felt vibrations in the stone, not from the siege above, from beyond the walls, deep in the bedrock, on the enemy's side of the battlefield. Movement, weight, something vast at work. She followed the sensation, descended through forgotten passages until she found what should not exist, an old path, a hidden tunnel, a crack in the world that connected Iron Cove's deep tunnels to the territory beyond the walls, to Voragath's domain. The demons had not discovered it. If they had, the city would already be ash. But Bianca had found it, and through that passage she could feel what the Sovereign was doing. Voragath was feeding. The sovereign of gluttony does not merely command demons, he creates them. Every soul consumed in the siege, every fallen soldier, every destroyed thrall, Voragath harvested their essence. He dragged it into himself, and from that stolen life birthed new demons to fuel the siege. He was a factory of corruption. And while he worked, he was vulnerable, not weak, but distracted, focused inward on creation rather than defense.
Bianca had spent 4 days preparing this chamber. She rigged it to collapse if demons tried to use the passage, but she kept it open, because an opportunity like this does not wait. The brothers looked into the darkness, listened to the sound of something vast at work. Caelister looked at Lair. Bianca extinguished the traps. The runes went dark. The mechanisms disengaged. The quartet took Solmara's tear and began their descent into the passage. Bianca remained behind. She held Uriel's verdict high, its cold blue light illuminating the chamber. She would guard this entrance, and if the brothers did not return, if she heard the sounds of demons pursuing them back through the fissure, she would collapse it, bury the passage, seal the route, buy Iron Cove time. Nothing more. The quartet descended into the dark. Behind them, Bianca Ironforge stood alone, listening to the stone. The archivist notes this moment not for its scale, but for the nature of the shift. They had come seeking a woman lost in the dark, a husband's worry, a simple act of confirmation and return. But the deep does not deal in simplicity. What should have been retrieval became revelation. What began as a bargain became an execution. The brothers descended not to rescue, but to kill, to strike at the throat of something that should not be struck, to hunt what hunts the world. The passage ahead was not silent. It was filled with sound, terrible sound, the screams of souls being unmade, the wet rending of essence torn from bone and reshaped into new horrors, the low, endless rhythm of appetite that refuses satisfaction. Voragath at work. The darkness swallowed them. There was no turning back, only descent. The hunt had begun. The archives are now closed.